All right. Welcome to the BAM Blog Breakdown, where I, Brian Kaiser, and Mike Calderwood, and sometimes Aaron Zambrano, break down expert business blogs so that you can better understand the information and apply it to your life and your business to get better results. And we do this every Monday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So real quickly, before we get into this really amazing blog by Chuck Blakeman, before we get into that, go over and click subscribe on YouTube, and that way you'll stay in touch with us. You'll get notifications when we come on. You won't have to remember that it's every Monday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. It'll just pop up, and it'll be like, hey, I got to go listen to BAM. I have to do it. So you'll get over there and get that taken care of. So, Mike, how are you doing this morning?
Doing good, man. We're mid-July right now, okay? And August,
it's hot in Houston.
August, September, right? And then we're 3/4 of the way done with the year, right? Then we've got, I don't even do October, November, December. We just go Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, right? And it's like, bam, the year's over, right? So what are we doing right now to prioritize so that we can finish this year strong and 10x our businesses?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
That's a really powerful question. And if you go over to chuckblakeman.com, you can actually check out this blog. And he's titled this one, Being Disciplined, Organized, and Scheduled May Not Help You Be Successful. And getting right to Mike, what Mike was talking about is, what are you doing this year? And, Chuck opens this story telling us about, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of noise, a lot of information flying around the internet and the airwaves about how to manage your life, how to manage your time, how to organize your day, how to do all these things. And, Chuck takes us through a little bit of a story of when he was growing up. He had to do that. And I'm sure that no one else has ever had to do this, where your mom made you clean your room. And he's having to clean his room, and he's complaining. He's making excuses. He's like, all the reasons why this is dumb. And his mom just looked at him and said, and just made him totally mad. He says in the story, it made him totally mad. There's really not excuses. There's really no excuses. There's really no reasons. The only thing there are is priorities. You make your having your room clean a priority so that you can go do other things, or you do your other things and then you get stuck having to clean your room and do the things you don't want to.
Yeah.
So it's really a priority. And so as he takes us through this blog, he brings some really valuable information and points from several different people, one of them being Stephen Covey, about how he always would listen to the people that were giving speeches, and the guy would always ask, well, what are you doing? How are you prioritizing your information? How are you prioritizing your life? And he gives us some examples of rocks and all these things, but he went through a scenario where, the guy was putting the water and the sand in his jar, and then he tries to fill up his jar with the rocks and the pebbles, and they don't fit. And so he equates that to your priorities and your tasks and your day. And you can be the most organized person. I mean, he has a guy in there, he says, the guy's so organized he never even forgets his wallet. That's organized. I mean, if you never forget your wallet, then, you're pretty organized.
I call that, and I can say this because I have it, I call that OCD. Right? Watch me walk around an amusement park or some public event, right? And I've got my big four. I'm always checking my sunglasses, my phone, my keys, my wallet. Boom, 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 boom. Looks like I'm drumming.
So if you see a guy at the amusement park that's patting himself down, that's it. That's Mike. That's awesome. But that's organized. But I guess his point is that at the beginning, there's a lot of noise, and everyone's telling you that you need to be better organized.
Yeah.
You need to have a better schedule. You need to do all this stuff. And even if you fill up your entire schedule, like you're scheduled down to the minute of your day, Chuck's point is that really getting you anywhere? Like, are you really, is that really progressing you in life? Or are you just busy to be busy? So, I asked as we went through this blog, and we, what can we learn from this blog? And it's very simple. And the first thing that I put out there was, what and how are you prioritizing your tasks? Now, Mike, we both have systems that we take people through and give them different things, like Evernote here. We use Evernote to prioritize some of our information and our
projects,
tasks, everything, and collaborate easily with folks. So the question is are the big rocks getting done, or are we filling our day with pebbles and sand and water? Because that's really what it boils down to. So
what I find, Brian, and a couple things here, and we aptly named our show today, Discipline and Organization versus Priorities, right? Based on Chuck's being disciplined, organized, and scheduled may not help you be successful, right? So what I want to draw attention to is we can have the most detailed, longest to-do list in the world. Right. I think didn't we just cover some of this on was it a Jeff Shore blog? I don't even remember, but just a couple weeks ago on a Monday or what have you. I forget.
Yeah.
Okay. When we talked about priorities and different things. But what I want to draw attention to is, because we're talking about the big rocks, right? So we have trouble identifying what a big rock is and what the sand so-called filler is, right? And so one of the things that I want to throw you here, it's not in the blog post, but I think it's kind of implied across the board, and a lot of the things that we cover is you've got to know what your vision, your mission, your dream, your bigger picture overarching goals are, and that needs to be crystal clear. And when that's crystal clear, the big rocks will reveal themselves, and you'll find it easier to identify where you should be putting your time than the stuff that just needs to come off your to-do list and go away for good.
Right. No, I totally agree. And I put down in my notes here, as you look at your out there, the audience, as you take a look at your own calendar, your own task list, maybe you keep everything like we do in Evernote or Wunderlist, and you put that in there. As you look at those things, you have to step back for a second and ask yourself, have you engaged with enough personal development or mindset or leadership programs and information to where you can do exactly what you said? Know what the priorities are that are going to move your business forward versus the activities. And I believe it was a Jeff Shore blog that we broke down. It was the complexity versus simplicity blog that we did 2 months back. Are you doing those? The sand things and the water things are really those complex things that take up a lot of time, and they're really cool, like redoing your website 50 times. Is that really a priority in your business to make your business grow or do anything? And so I asked in my notes, I put it down. I was like, after I read this blog, I was like, are people engaging in these programs? Do you have a coach? Are you growing yourself? Are you being able to identify that? If you don't, why not?
Right.
Why are you not? Because you're not going to be able to prioritize. I mean, each one of us, we're coaches, and we have a coach that helps us identify these things.
So, Brian, you talk about redoing the website for the 50th time on that back page, hidden page where the font was just wrong, and we need to get back and like you'd know. And he's colorblind. That was a joke from a couple weeks ago. But anyhow, so two things you've got to do here is this might not be a priority issue. This might be you're hiding from the priorities issue. Right? What are you avoiding by going and doing the website again, right? So one of the things you just talked about, personal development, things like that. Brian and I use Evernote a lot. We use Evernote to help us stay organized, helps us prioritize. We use Wunderlist, right? We use calendars. We use master lists. We know what our goals are. We know what our dreams are. We know what our visions are, and we stay focused on those. But one of the things that we do, we got Evernote. We went, how can we utilize Evernote? How can we use Evernote to better be organized, better prioritize, keep our stuff in order? Right. So what would we do? We started searching for gurus and experts that were already leveraging Evernote. I found Evernote Scott. Evernote Scott helped me to understand and really take the basics to another level of how I could use Evernote. Then I found Michael Hyatt. Right. And Michael Hyatt who I aspire to be somewhat like in many ways of his expertise and his business model.
Right.
I looked and he showed us exactly how he was using Evernote to organize his day-to-day. And I went, man, I can adapt that. That fits right into my business model. I can adapt that, right? So what are you doing? Who are you surrounding yourself with? What are you listening to? Who are you following that can help you leverage technology, leverage intelligence, leverage experience to gain an advantage in your business, in your priorities, so that you can identify the big rocks?
Because like you said, they're going to stand out once they're identified.
Right.
And, Chuck points out in this blog that when you go through this process, and you and I have done it several times.
Yeah.
Because even for BAM, just so you know, we sit down and we mastermind how we're going to do BAM, how we're going to improve it,
how we're going to monetize it, how we're going to grow it.
Everything about BAM has been put on a whiteboard, and we've done it very strategically to get BAM to grow and get our audience to grow and provide value and the content that these people have put out. Mm-hmm. How can we provide value for them and provide value for ourselves and provide value to you? And what you find out when you sit down and go through these processes is there are a lot of things, and Mike actually put it in his notes here, you can actually find a lot of things that can go in file 13.
Yeah. I love the file 13. If you want to know what file 13 is, read the blog from Chuck, because it's really kind of cool.
You need a file 13.
You need a file 13.
Make it a big one.
But you also have to have the courage to use file 13.
Definitely.
Right.
And I think that's where you came back with the avoidance thing.
Right.
Because, if you're not clear on what you're doing, then you probably don't have energy. It's not giving you energy to go do it.
Yeah.
So the courage is not going to be there, because you're going to find reasons. And as humans, we find reasons to rationalize why that last page on the website being redone today, and
why is that a priority?
For the next 5 days,
yeah.
So that we don't have to go engage with this, that,
is it
another thing.
Yeah, is it because you feared the follow-up from last week's networking event? Is it because you fear the follow-up on that sales quote that you sent to somebody? Look, we could kill this one because we've covered Jeff Shore and Be Bold.
Yep.
We've covered Bob Berg. We've covered Traction and Gino Wickman and the EOS guys, and we could talk about being bold, and we can talk about being organized, and we can talk about overcoming fear, and we can talk about business mindset till we're blue in the face. But you've at some point got to look and start prioritizing what needs to be done in your business, and regardless of how you feel, you need to get that done. Mm-hmm. I have an MBA group, right? Mastermind Business Advantage Group. It's a group of like-minded business owners that get together once a month, and we work on our business for 4 hours. I facilitate it. You're familiar with the program.
Very much so.
And what's interesting to me, and kind of covering Chuck's mother here, right, is the excuses. When we leave one meeting, you've got accountability items for the next meeting.
Right.
And the excuses that I hear every month from the different people in these various groups that, like one guy just made a commitment to, start reading a book a month.
Right.
Then he comes back next month. What book did you read? Well, I had this happen and this happened and this happened and this happened. And okay, so why were those priorities for you? And try to work them through that. And they refuse, right? They refuse. They dig their heels in, right? Because they think that every little fire and every little curveball that comes their way requires 100% of their attention, right? Brendan Burchard, who we both know, like, and you know him on a personal level. I know him as a guru, but he says, your inbox is a convenient place for everyone else's agenda. Right? How is your email affecting your prioritizing? How are text messages and Facebook affecting your prioritizing?
Mm-hmm.
How is fear, frustration affecting your priorities? How is unclarity affecting your prioritization?
Nope.
Guys, this is why it's so important to surround yourself with the right people that can help you stay focused and keep the main things and help you focus on the big picture.
And that's why in the notes I put that down. Who are you engaged with?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not engaged, and when I say engaged with, I don't mean that you got on Facebook and you saw one of the snippet quotes that they put out with a cool picture, and and that's now your engagement with this person. Okay, oh, I saw Darren Hardy put out this good post. I saw Grant Cardone put out this great thing. And I saw no, that's not engaged.
Self-directed education, people.
Have you gone and got the book? Have you gone and picked up book traction? Have you read it? Okay. Did you take a pen and paper with you and make notes of things that you can do in your life and then start practicing them? And, we did a blog with Aaron a couple of weeks back where we talked about the decisions. You make a decision.
Decide before you decide.
Yeah.
That was Bob Bird. That was the review of the review. That was Bob Bird covering Jeff Shore.
That's right. So, but in Chuck Blakeman's blog post here, we have to ask ourselves, who are we engaging with? Because we're not going to do this. This is hard to do. It's hard to prioritize on your own. It's hard to find clarity
on your own.
I mean, and even when you engage and you start to read the books are a piece of that engagement, but it has to go from there. You have to actually take action on it so that you can get the clarity. And the clarity is, like Mike said, once you're clear, once you know what who you are and where you want to go and who you want to be, once you know that end result, and Chuck says it here, start with that end in mind.
Yep.
Okay. Once you know that, it's very easy to see that, okay, I've got to do X, I got to do Y, I got to do Z, and that's going to get me there. Those are the three main priorities.
How many of your clients, like you say, hey, like show me your calendar, and that you grab their phone and they go, well, I'm not real techie. I'm not a real techie guy, right? So I just, I've got a to-do list. Well, where is it? I don't know. I didn't bring it.
It's in the car.
Right. It's in the car. Car.
That's the classic excuse. Well, I left that one in the office. So I didn't think we would talk about that today.
A big challenge for a lot of people is the ever-changing technology world, right? So we fear it a little bit, or we resist it a little bit. So a big difference between an entrepreneur who succeeds and an entrepreneur who doesn't is the entrepreneur that doesn't succeed finds areas that he's not versed in and says, I don't know how to do that, I quit. Or I don't know how to do that, so I'll just not do it. And then eventually have to quit or close the doors or what have you. Whereas the entrepreneur that has a success mindset says, I don't know how to do that, that now becomes a priority to him.
Mm-hmm.
How do I learn to do that? If I don't have the time, effort, or desire to learn how to do it, who do I need to bring on board that can do that for me, right?
Exactly.
So to just put this bluntly, successful people find a way to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
They just find a way to get it done. No excuses, as Chuck's mom said, no reasons, only priorities. And when we start to figure out the priorities, we start to change the way that we look at our business. We don't get hung up in the day-to-day, but we start to see our business for what it can be and what needs to be done to get to where it could be.
Exactly. And you brought up Brendan.
Yeah.
So there's one of the things at Brendan's events, at his Experts Academy and other events, he'll point blank tell the crowd, your dreams, your vision, your things that you want in life, don't give a damn what you got to learn technologically,
get it done,
skill-wise, whatever. They don't care. If you want it, you got to go get it.
Yep.
Period. It just, your dream's not going to sit there and accomplish itself. It's there for you to either go get it with whatever it takes, or to just fall in lockstep with those excuse makers that are just going to be, average.
So, Brian, I think they get it.
You got it?
So, before we close out, though, what's one thing you would have them do? Well, for the listeners, what's one thing you would have them do to start to better prioritize?
One thing I would have them do to prioritize is not look at your inbox, but in the morning and in the afternoon, twice a day. Twice a day, look at your inbox.
So choose your distractions ahead of time.
Yes.
Excellent.
Because
and how you'll handle those.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So, and I'm going to tell them, go back and review the compelling reason why you got in business to begin with. That way you can keep the main thing the main thing. So guys, that's 2 great tips right there. Keep the main thing the main thing. Plan for distractions.
Plan for distractions. And you brought up the inbox, so that was
that's perfect.
top of my
it was
mind.
Perfect. It was
Picked me
perfect.
2 times because you know what? The good thing about email, it will be there.
It will be there. Yeah. So Brian, bring us out, man.
It's another Bam Slam home run. Get over chuckblakeman.com. Check out that blog. Want to thank YouTube once again. Get over to our YouTube channel. Bottom left-hand corner, hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Evernote. Like we brought it up several times, we use this religiously to prioritize BAM, prioritize other things in our business. And we really appreciate it. Chuck, great content. Yeah. Really appreciate you letting us break it down. Want to tell you guys, hey, look, we know that this stuff in your business is tough. It's not easy. And being an entrepreneur is not, all sunshine and rainbows. You're going to have tough times. But if you want to gain a real advantage, if you want to get 10x for your efforts and get 10x results, you're going to have to do what the high performers are doing.
Yeah, you do.
And you're going to have to develop your skill set and your mindset simultaneously so you can get there.
Yep.
Okay. The mindset, the mental fitness challenge is challenging our mindsets. I'm going through the program right now. Yep. It's really cool, but they've become a sponsor of the show. Really good stuff. So I'm challenging you to go to the link below the video. Look at it.
Guys, this is good stuff. Look,
you'll be amazed.
Your business will grow when you grow. So this mental fitness challenge is all about helping you to grow into the leader that your business needs to sustain, profit, and thrive.
Yep. Well, I put out a really cool post this morning on Facebook. If the shark wants to feed, at some point the shark's got to learn to lead.
Yep.
Okay. Everyone wants to go out there and get business done. Well, at some point you have to start leading others so that you can get that business done. So check out the link below. It's put together by 7 of the top ranked leadership gurus in the world. So it's awesome. So with that, if you need an introduction over to any of the people over at Chuck Blakeman's group, reach out to us. We'll make a personal and professional introduction. If Mike and I can help you in any way, reach out to us.
Let us know, please.
Business coaches. We can help you with your business. We can help you with your health. We'll get you over to Aaron. He's an expert in that. Any of the specific areas of your business or your life, we probably know someone that can help you with those challenges. So get over to us. We're here to serve. With that, we're going to say simply, hey, how can we help you? And we're out.